right, welcome back to another episode of the Carter Cast. I'm your host, Carter Bond. We're back, boys. We're back. Football's here. We already got week 1 of college football. We have week 1 of NFL on the horizon. It's Grant. He's here. Dylan. He's here. Connor, not here. He put in his PTO this week, apparently, so not great. We got the crew of 3, though. That's great. I'm super excited to be here. Fellas, we made it. We finally made it through the summer of hell.
It's nice. I told Abby, I was like, tomorrow, Thursday Night Football, what are the dinner plans? Like, are we going to go get the buy one, get one free B-dubs wings? Or, are we going to be making burgers? Like, we got to get this stuff figured out. And then you got to plan for Sunday. Grant said it before we started recording. We've made it. Like, we're here now. It's all football now until February.
It is the B-dubs move for me as well, Dylan. So I'm impressed, man. We're actually head there on Thursday. It's all game planned out. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to be able to say that we have made it, boys. We've made it, and it feels great. It was a nice little teaser we got this past week of college football, some really fun games. I'm excited to break it down with you guys. It's going to be exciting.
So the college football parlay starts off 0-2 for the season. First week, we went 3 out of 4. Not bad for week 0. Week 0 last year, we went 0 for 4. That was rough. And then last week, Dylan and I that was just a kick in the pants. North Texas money line lose by 30 plus, and then UTSA. That's my biggest disappointment all year. I'm staying. So I already have their win total. We're putting a ban on UTSA in the parlays.
Well, Carter, you were talking about UTSA since, I want to say, the summer months when we were doing those last podcasts, or even the year before. Like, you were hot on that game against Houston for months now. So to see that result, I felt for you, man. I really did, because I know you were high on them for a minute now.
I'm fading Houston again, no matter what this week.
And you bet against the baby blue jerseys. That tells you all you need to know right there.
Or I just think, Dylan, you know how you love your penalty yards? I don't think there's a more undisciplined team besides Florida and UTSA in college football. The two, they just love seeing that yellow flag.
I got to see I have it pulled up, how many penalty yards they committed.
Of course.
But I do want to talk about that Florida team is so undisciplined. They looked like a team that had never played. It looked like a team full of freshmen that have never played Division I football before. It was wild.
But different change of plans this year. We're going to start in the NFL, and then we're going to do college football at the end. Instead of running through a zillion games, we're going to run through our top 5, do our best bets, parlays, and then roll into college football, and then do a parlay, and we'll get out of here. Dylan, did you get the penalty stats for us?
No, all I see was that Houston got 3 first downs off of penalties. So that right there tells you all you need to know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Houston stinks. Stinks.
I'm sorry. I do have it. 8 penalties for 64 yards. UTSA committed.
Yeah, not great. Not great for the Roadrunners. Meet. Anyhow, we're gonna start off with the Thursday night game. Not always we're gonna start off with the Thursday night game, but it's the first game of the year. Biggest game, probably the biggest game this weekend, maybe besides Jets Bills. Chiefs Lions. This line has gone which way, hoo-ha, whatever you think. It has been 7, 7.5, 6.5. Now it's down to 4.5 on most books. Chiefs minus 4.5, over under 52.5. Grant, I'll let you start. What do you think going into this Chiefs Lions game?
I think back onto what we've talked about year after year after year with Chiefs big lines. So the big line hooks are the scariest play in the world to me, just because I know the books have made so much money. Vegas has made so much money on people like you and me, everyday, regular, hardworking people betting on these Chiefs lines, expecting them to cover, and they always win, but they never seem to cover these lines. It's the craziest thing. I don't know how they do it, but they win by 3 when it's 4 points, or they win by 4 when it's 4.5. It seems like that hook gets them every time. Now, obviously, the fluctuation has more to do with Travis Kelce than anything else, right? I don't necessarily think it's just strictly people hammering one side or the other. I think it's just because of injury news. But even then, my rule of thumb is anything over 3 gets me a little weird with these Chiefs lines. Like I said, I think they go down early sometimes. They do weird interceptions happen early on. So I think there's some value in like either live betting this type of play. I know we always talk about those kind of plays, but specifically the Chiefs, I really do think there is, especially if they go down early. And like I said, if it seems to take them a little bit time to gel without Travis Kelce at first, right? Maybe. I don't know if that's going to take them a little bit of time to gel in the first half. But to me, it's almost like if I was going to have to play anything on this, I think I'd rather play like the Lions first half play or something like that, because like I don't really trust these 4.5, 6.5 type spreads with the Chiefs. Just to be honest,
Dylan?
It's a from a non-betting perspective, it is almost a Mahomes legacy game if Kelce doesn't play, because if he ever had anything to prove this week, he could prove that he doesn't need anybody to be as great as he is. So if Kelce's, I mean, he's going to be dealing with, talk about some supporting cast he's going to have at receiver and tight end. I mean, Noah Gray's not bad, but this is his chance to prove that. But from a betting perspective, I think Travis Kelce plays. Even if he doesn't play the whole game, they're going to include him in a red zone package. I just, if the ACL's intact, I don't see him not playing valuable snaps for the Chiefs. So if you like the Chiefs, I would get them now at 4.5 or 5 or whatever before it goes right back up to 6.5. My other concern from a betting perspective as well, no book has wanted to give out Lions +7 since, I would say, probably July when these lines came out. I think it was there for a while, but it wasn't for long. So someone out there thinks that this game is going to be closer than what the public might think it is. So it's going to be a good game. It really, I think last year, was it last year we got Rams-Bills and the Bills just stomped the Rams? Like, I don't think we're going to get that again. I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, it feels like you're going to be on the wrong side no matter what. If this line does go back up to 6.5 at the end, I know you never want to tease an underdog against the Chiefs, but if you can get like Lions +12.5, tease that with maybe the Jets on Monday night next week +8.5.
Speaking my language now.
Now we're cooking. But going from a betting perspective, real quick, it's a sit back, enjoy your Buffalo Wild Wings, and bet the over and have a good night. And maybe a first touchdown, maybe an anytime touchdown, play like a Sky Moore +200. One of those. Eat your wings, have a great night. I would stay away from either side. Talking about the game from a non-betting perspective, like Dylan mentioned, I think the Chiefs just roll. I think the Chiefs are going to win. I don't think it matters if Travis Kelce plays. I almost like the Chiefs more if Travis Kelce doesn't play, because then everyone's going to overreact to the Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're saying if he's officially out. Plus, last year, Thursday night games were terrible. Like, I think we had a string of I think it was 5 in a row. Just the Thursday night games were just awful. So I'm excited to see hopefully competitive football on Thursday. But like you said, I think this is a beat-ups game. You just enjoy your beat-ups. And like I said,
it's going to be an awesome football game. Like, there's no way this is Big Ten football.
If you're degenerate like me and Carter, you bet
the
over.
It'll be a shootout.
If you're smart, you're Dylan and you bet the under. So you have the
yeah. If you're smart, you're sharp. You're gonna be like under Mahomes under passing yards, and no.
I'm not taking the under this one.
Yeah, you go get your garlic parm wings and the buy one get one free. You go back, hang out with a few friends, and just be happy that football's on. Just be happy NFL football is on your TV again. And it's going to be an awesome game. I can't wait. Let's move on, though. Let's talk about Bengals-Browns. Bengals -2, over under 47.5. What a weird line for this one. I know the whole Joe Burrow injury news. Is he going to play? Obviously, he is going to play. He is 100%, it seems like. This game is in Cleveland. Dylan, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts going into Bengals -2 against the Browns?
I hate to interrupt. Grant is frozen for me.
Grant's frozen for you.
Yep. I hear you fine. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, we see you and hear you fine.
Okay, perfect. Then I'll roll with it. I like the Bengals here, especially if Joe Burrow's going to play. I bet the Bengals early at 2.5, and I think it got back to 2.5. It was at 1 for a while. I don't feel super confident about it, but it was one of those things that I saw at 2.5, and I was like, oh, I better get that before it goes up, and it never went up. So interested to see what the Bengals do here. First full year for Deshaun Watson. We'll see how this plays out in Cleveland. We got a glimpse of it at the end of last season, and if I recall correctly, it went so-so. I don't think anything crazy, good or bad, happened with them. So interested to see in this divisional matchup who comes out on top. But Cleveland has owned Joe Burrow since he's been there, so we'll see.
Exactly. There's never points given like this where it's just an automatic play. I feel you there, but when you look at it, like you said, I think it's more injury related stuff than anything else. I think people freaked out about the injury. I think people thinking about obviously what Joe Burrow's going through. So I'm going to roll with that. I'm going to roll with the fact that Joe B has made us tons of money over the years. He's been one of the safest plays. So I'm going to roll with them for sure on that. I think I have the first half though with us, so I'm gonna lean more first half than full game.
I kind of like Elijah Moore anytime touchdown. I know that's random. I feel like either like Elijah Moore or Deshaun Watson plus 420 to run in a touchdown. A little read option from the 4-yard line, run it in, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, Deshaun Watson's back," whatever. This line's trippy. I don't like these AFC North close lines on the road. I kind of like the Browns here. I'll just say it out loud. I kind of like the Browns here. A little Browns teaser action potentially too. Make them +8.
2 for 2 on teasers on games. We can't tease every game, Carter. This is crazy.
You can tease every game and win every game. Who's to say you can't win every game? Why are you putting a salary cap on your life, Grant?
Put a salary cap on the amount of teasers we can use as a podcast.
Okay, fair. But no, I think this game's going to be interesting. It's one of those, I was telling Dylan before we hit the record button, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson going into this year, one of these quarterbacks is going to turn it around. I don't feel like both of those are going to have wash careers and they're completely finished. I just don't see it with both of them. I feel like Deshaun Watson's the better bet because he's been healthy. It wasn't injury problems or anything. He's not old or anything. Russell Wilson, he's the older one, and there's just weird stuff coming out of Broncos camp too. So this game's weird, man. If you're going to bet it, I would stay away, or maybe the Browns, dude. They're just speaking to me, Grant. They're just speaking to me for some reason. Am I like just trying to like overthink this, should I just go with the Bengals or what? I'm so confused here.
No, I kind of like you bet on the Browns. That's normally played well for us on the other side, so I kind of like it. I think I'm good with it.
And as a precursor to the NFL parlay, so it might be a good thing that I like the Browns because the Bengals may or may not be in the NFL parlay this week. So
in some form of fashion.
All right, let's start off the 49ers at the Steelers. 49ers -2, over under 41.5. The trap line of the week. You look at the week 1 lines, you're scrolling, and then bam, that one pops out at you. 49ers -2? Why are they only -2? We started the recording right before this. Grant's scrolling. He's like going over the lines once more, and he goes, whoa, wait. 49ers -2. What's going on here? So, Dylan, talk me through this line. Talk me through this game. The 49ers at Pittsburgh. It just feels like you just feel like you're on the wrong side either way.
Yeah, I have the 49ers as a 4.5 point favorite. So there's a little discrepancy there. I do really think that the Steelers are a team that can either overperform or underperform. Like the margin is so wide on both ends. I think I've played them under their season wins, but also to win the division. Kenny Pickett looked great in the preseason games, and I think the wide receivers take a big step up. Defense for Pittsburgh is always at least decent, and that's really at the worst. So, and the 49ers, I think that there are people out there that probably still think that what happened last year was a bit fluky, especially once Brock Purdy took over. So 2.5, not wanting to give the 3 to the Steelers, I can see, because I think they're going to be better than last year. And there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding the 49ers. So I'm with you. I don't have any bets on this game, but this will probably be like screen 4. I'll have this on screen 4.
Is Red Zone on any of the screens? Because I'm a 2-screen guy.
Red Zone's on. Well, so the problem is we're going to get into some issues here. I have YouTube TV now, so I can watch 4 games at a time. Am I going to put Red Zone on the big TV, or am I going to put Red Zone on the iPad and put 4 big games TV. On the big TV?
Big TV.
Okay.
Yeah, see, the setup over in the dojo is 255 inches. One Red Zone, one the Sweet Panthers.
That's a good setup. Yeah, I need to do that with the Titans.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, this line's weird. Grant, do you have anything on this game?
You guys have almost talked me into leaning just Steelers money line and just playing with that and just being like, whatever, just whatever happens, I'm happy with it. Just sprinkling some on that, because if it hits, you're like, I feel like a genius, and if it doesn't, you're like, whatever. It was a money line play anyways. I almost feel like that's the move. Just like you said, with so much uncertainty with the Bosa news and stuff like that. Obviously, I know it just got finalized now. There's been that whole issue going on. I'm personally, and will continue to say it, I am not a huge lover of Brock Purdy. I don't think he's that dude. I think he was the benefit of an amazing system and really, really good talented players around them. And I think it just kind of worked, right? I just don't know how sustainable that truly is. And like you said, Dylan, if the defense is anything above mediocre, they're going to make that kid's life hell, in my opinion. So, I don't hate the play on the Steelers side at all. I don't think it's a bad play. In fact, I'm almost talking to sprinkling some money on the Steelers side, but definitely, like you guys said, I'd probably stay away from the 49ers side. It just seems too square, too easy.
Week 1, you do this thing where you're like, I'm going to take something in every single game. This is the game you don't. Just stay away. Just don't. You don't need the Steelers money line because guess what?
I'm going to sprinkle on the Steelers money line, boys. That's
you'll be kind of mad at yourself. You're like, oh my gosh, the Niners were always going to win. Did I really think Kenny Pickett was going to beat a top 5 defense in this league?
I can live with the sprinkle though. Just let it be known. I think I'm going to sprinkle a little on the Steelers there. All right. Let's move on. Let's quickly move on. Packers at the Bears. Bears minus 1.5. Over under 42.5. What is happening here? I mean, obviously a lot of unknowns at quarterback with Jordan Love coming in at the Packers, but then this Justin Fields media hype. I mean, it's gone to Vegas's head. Dylan, you're shaking your head. What's going on?
It happens every year. The Justin Fields thing happened last year, and we saw how that went. I think they started against the 49ers last year, and he may have had a decent game, and everybody was going crazy. And I'm not going to let the bias infiltrate the NFL talk, but it's more that Ohio State quarterback stuff. They've never, ever, ever been good in the pros. They just haven't. They don't. The quarterback play in college at Ohio State is much different than the NFL. So I like the Packers. I think Jordan Love is going to have an amazing year. He came in 2021 against the Chiefs and looked awful. And he came in this past year, I can't remember who against, but actually looked pretty decent. The guy's had 3 years to learn behind Aaron Rodgers. I think that the Packers probably close a favorite in this game, even if it's just a point or so. But I really do think the Packers are going to be decent. And the Bears, I don't get the Fields hype. I don't get the Bears hype. So I'm going Packers here. And I think the Packers probably win the division if it's, between just us three, and, if we're just talking here. But I think the Packers win the division.
Yeah, just dudes talking ball.
Yeah.
Just guys talking.
Yeah, just, new boot goofing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like the Packers in this game too. I don't understand the Justin Fields crap either. How is this team all of a sudden going to be 5-6 wins better? With DJ Moore coming in, a rookie offensive lineman coming in, the defense did not improve that much. They were the worst defense in the NFL last season. Mm-hmm. We did it on the preview with Connor and I. It just makes no sense. Everyone's just all of a sudden all in on Justin Fields out of nowhere. It's like he hasn't shown he can throw the ball in the NFL. Like, why are we all buying in? When Lamar Jackson came in, he showed he could throw the ball in this league. Yes, he can't throw it all the time, obviously, but he's like more than competent quarterback. And Justin Fields has not shown he can be a competent pocket passing quarterback. And you're not going to win. You're going to get hurt eventually by playing that way.
Cam Newton, yeah, exactly.
I'm a big Cam Newton fan. Big fan of Cam Newton. But guess what? You got to be able to throw in the pocket. You have to. You will not win in this league unless you can throw in the pocket. And what he did in 2015, he threw in the pocket to mediocre receivers and Greg Olsen, who's a Hall of Fame tight end. But that's a different story. Grant, what's your thoughts on Bears-Packers if you have any?
It's a stay-away game for me, but like I said, if I was going to play anything, I'd play the Packers side. Just like
Packers,
with you guys.
baby. Cheeseheads, baby.
And Jordan Love's had plenty of time to be able to be a competent quarterback in the league. Like, it's not like it's a rookie, squaring up. Again, he hasn't had that many snaps live in an NFL game, but he's been there long enough. He's been around it long enough where he should be able to play well. So, like you said, I think it's a stay-away game for me personally, just to kind of see what this Justin Fields looks like right in a real game this year. But I would lean the Packers too.
Okay, 2 things on this game real quick. The Aaron Rodgers headache is gone now. I don't think that's an underrated part of this game. The other thing is this defense is still a very good defense. Like, what? Like, all of a sudden this Packers defense is going to keep them in games. And if Jordan Love is a competent, above average quarterback, they're going to be good. And like Dylan mentioned, maybe we win the division. Just us 3 talking.
Yeah, just between us. I will say, too, Jordan Love did have the luxury of not having to start when he got drafted. And I understand that, Carter, you're a fan of a team that will be starting a rookie quarterback. But the last rookie quarterback that started in his debut, like his rookie year, the last one to win his opening game, I think it was Derek Carr. Or not Derek Carr, David Carr. Like David Carr in
2002.
Yeah. So Jordan Love had the opportunity to learn behind Aaron Rodgers. And I think Aaron Rodgers did not feel threatened that much by Jordan Love once he got there. I know there was drama once he got drafted. And I think he was able to probably teach him some things that he wouldn't have learned elsewhere. So I'm buying a lot of Jordan Love stock. I got a lot of rookie cards sitting in my box that's right over here. I'm hoping he does well because those things will skyrocket.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the Eagles-Patriots. Eagles -4 in Gillette, over under 45. We said the word stay away a lot today. I guess that's a 2-letter, or I guess that's 2 words, maybe. Is that 2 words, 1 word? Dylan, help me out.
Hyphenated. I'm going hyphenated. So
okay,
1 word hyphenated.
Go. Yeah, so we're chilling both ways. Anyhow, Eagles -4. I'll start off real quick. Biggest stay away game from a betting perspective. This is going to be a game I don't think it's going to be entertaining to watch. Everyone's like, oh yeah, Eagles-Pats. Like, Mac Jones doesn't ever do it for me. Then both really good defenses. Under, if anything.
Home dog. Pats are a home dog. Bill Belichick is a home dog.
I'm out. I do like the Super Bowl hangover. I like the Super Bowl hangover team. I just want to stay away. I can't do with this Patriot stuff.
I'm with Dylan, man. I lean the Pats with the points.
You guys like the Pats. You guys like the Pats with the points.
I like the Pats with the points 100%. I was thinking the same thing. Yes, give me a home. Patriots are a different team at home. Bill Belichick with the whole offseason to plan for the offense. It just screams like take the points 100%. It just screams take the points. Take the points with Bill Belichick. That's all I can say.
Wow. I want to add real quick because I know we're working on limited time, but Nick Giffen at the Action Network has a really cool metric called his luck ratings. And he had the Philadelphia Eagles last year as the second luckiest team in the NFL.
Who was first?
Vikings.
It had to have been Vikings or Giants.
It was either Vikings or Giants, but
their point differential was awful, so it had to have been.
And that plays a huge role in this for me too, because that's just that kind of run is not going to last forever. But the best thing that's come out of like the build up to this matchup is the one quote that I think the wide receiver coach for the Patriots had, and he said that Juju Smith-Schuster knee will explode or is about to explode or something like that. And I was like, what a way to describe a potential injury. His knee is about to explode. You don't hear that very often.
I saw that, and it was, I don't know if that was like, I don't know who leaked that story. That was weird. That was just weird. You're reading that and you're just like, okay, all right, let's scroll down to some other stupid tweets. Really, Pats +4.
I for the record, I haven't played it yet, but it might get played.
I think you're going to talk yourself into it.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else on that game. Real quick, we were going to talk about the Dolphins-Chargers. I just wanted to say you can pick anybody for an anytime touchdown in that game, and it's going to hit. So that's all I have to say on that one. Let's move on. Last game we're going to talk about in the NFL, and then Grant, you got to roll. I'll let you start off, and then you can hop out of here. Jets-Bills. Grant's Jets Minute. Let's talk.
Bro, boys, we haven't been able to talk at all personally on this podcast about these sweet, sweet Jets. We have not been able to talk about them at all. I know you guys probably have covered them a little bit. I'm hyped. I'm super hyped. Let me just state that to begin with. I think Aaron Rodgers is exactly what this franchise needed. I think he is the only type of quarterback that's going to be able to break whatever evil curse that, lingers over them on the playoff, right? On them getting to the playoffs. So I'm super excited. I'm excited for them to have an offense, to be honest. And you know how big of a Zach Wilson fan I am, but that defense is too good to not have someone on the offensive side, getting points and putting yards up on the board. So I'm super excited. I obviously am going to lean the Jets. I'm going to make it. I obviously will play them just like I did almost every game last year. I am going to ride that hot hand for sure, because if Zach Wilson was able to beat the Bills last year, you bet that Aaron Rodgers can take care of business this year. Although, like I said, I know they're going to come in knowing what's going on, full healthy team with the Bills. I don't care. I'm going to the Jets. I'm winning the Jets all day. Give me the Jets, and then we will talk about this too, and I'm sure you're going to talk about it in the future, but Garrett Wilson, anytime touchdown, it's 100% going down.
I love it. I love it. All right, so we just had Grant's Jets minute. Now it's time for the true football brains to talk, the non-biased Jets fans. I was all in on the Jets last year. I did the whole cute Zach Wilson thing. We don't do bits on this podcast, but I really, really tried to speak Zach Wilson being good into existence. The Jets, the Bills are -2.5 in New York. Let's be honest. The Bills might win this game.
We talked about it briefly in I think the AFC preview, the AFC East preview, but the Bills on paper, I think, are the best team in football. That doesn't always work out the way it's supposed to. Obviously, the Jets made a lot of changes. I have Aaron Rodgers as like a 10-point upgrade from Zach Wilson. I don't have a play on this. If you were wanting to get action, though, I would wait until kickoff. I would put my credibility on the line and say that this probably gets to 3. It would be my guess. I think it gets to 3 before kickoff, and then at that point, I will take the Jets at 3. I'm kind of torn. Like there's just a lot of uncertainty. That's the thing with all these Week 1 games. It's like, I know we're not going to talk about it. The Texans are a 10-point underdog, but only 3-1 on the money line, as no one really knows what's going to happen. So I lean Jets. I will take Jets at 3. I think it gets there before kickoff. I don't tell Grant this. Obviously, he's never going to hear this, so because this is just staying between us. But I kind of want the Jets to be good. I wouldn't mind the Jets being good.
I kind of want them to be good too. It'd be fun for football. Like
it would.
Mike Greenberg would be, Greeny's back. That would be No, I
Get Up would be crazy.
Awesome. I want everybody in this division to be good outside of the Patriots. Like that's the dream scenario for the AFC East. If like the Patriots are really bad, because they deserve it. I'm tired of this Patriots bullcrap. I'm tired of them talking themselves into being good. It's all in the past. You guys are the San Antonio Spurs now. You'll tank next year probably and end up with like a first overall pick and then be fine for 20 years. But take your L's now. Take your L's. You're going to miss the playoffs. You're going to be bad. You're going to be bad.
Are you saying that they deserve to be bad now because they were good in the past?
Yeah, well, they were just, you know what? We might have to get the bleep button out, but they were just dicks about it. They were dicks about it.
I hear that. I don't have too many Patriots fans in my inner circle, but I could see that coming from them.
No, you got it. They're the same as Ohio State fans, except with less Ohio State fans with way less success. Way less success. So that's the barometer for what Pats fans are. I like the Jets in this game. I know I said maybe the Bills win, blah blah blah. You got to play both sides here. I like the Jets in this game. I think they're going to come out hot. I think their defense is so good. I think they may have the most underrated defense in the National Football League. I think they're going to come out hot. They're going to be the sexy pick maybe in this game. I'm looking at the numbers right now. 69% of the bets are on the Bills -2.5, and 83% of the money's on the Bills as well. I don't care what side, public, whatever. Give me the Jets. I like the Jets +3 here. Once it gets to 3, I think that's a key here. I want them at 3, 2.5. Just play the money line if you're going to do it. Just play the money line. Don't screw around.
One thing I just thought of, Aaron Rodgers does not throw that many interceptions, at least in the prior years. So the price on him to throw an interception is usually plus money, pretty like plus 150 to 250. I mean, it's pretty good. I would look at that. I don't know if any books have it. I can't pull it up because my house burns down. But I could totally see him throwing an interception this game to a great Bills defense, and not a completely new system because he's had all offseason, but a system that is going to be new to him for the year. I could see that in the cards.
What I love is that people will have no idea about the internet problems on this episode. They may see a couple little jump cuts here and there, but this is the beauty of Riverside. You're going to look crystal clear to them on the YouTube right now.
Public service announcement to all the listeners: the unit size is going to go down this season because I'm paying to upgrade my internet.
And you got to pay YouTube TV, and we got to pay more for Sunday Ticket. Everything's going up. I don't know who to blame.
Don't even get me started on that.
It might be a 5-letter B word to blame. Let's see here. There was a prop I was looking for in this game. It was Bills Jets. I know people are going to be like, well, why didn't you talk about the Cowboys Giants? That was like game 7-8 on my radar this week.
Yeah, honestly. I don't care about that. I really don't.
let's see here. Passing props. I want to see what. I don't think they have it out yet because I want Josh Allen to throw an interception. I know it might be minus odds. It might be like minus 120, minus 115, around there. I still like that.
I think a little Rodgers Allen interception parlay. I think that could be in the moves. We'll see once it comes out.
All right. Well, those are the games we're covering. Let's talk about our favorite bets this week. You want to start? Give us like 2 to 3 bets you love this week.
Number one, first and foremost, is going to be the Raiders +4. I have them as a 4-point favorite in this game against the Broncos, and I understand
in Denver.
Yeah, I do. I think the Raiders are going to take a big step up this year. They've made
teacher.
Yes, Carter.
So does the Excel spreadsheet account for road games?
It does. It accounts for road games and not even that, divisional games. It counts for divisional games too.
We needed to get that information out.
I know you guys aren't high on the Raiders, but they've made improvements to that secondary. Jimmy G, I think, is going to be just as good as Carr was, and I don't think that the Broncos are going to make this jump that everybody's saying just from hiring Sean Payton. So I'm going Raiders +4, Raiders money line. We talked about the Packers. I'm already on the Packers. One game we didn't talk about, Dolphins against the Chargers. I am so low on the Chargers this year, and I think that the Dolphins beat them. I'm taking +3, but I think they beat the Chargers. And there was one more. I'm blanking. Jags. I kind of hate this one because it's a road divisional favorite, but I think the Colts are just going to be bad. They're going to be so bad. Jags, I think I got -4. It might be 4.5 now. I think it's good up to probably 6.
Do you think any of these rookie quarterbacks shine week 1? We have Bryce Young against the Falcons. We have CJ Stroud against the Ravens, and we have Anthony Richardson against the Jags. Those are the main ones. I don't think there's anybody else.
Is Howell a rookie? No, he's second year, right?
No, he played last year.
I would say if you had the best chance would probably be Young because they're going up against the worst defense.
That was a trap question, baby. That was a trap question. That's what I wanted to get you at. I'll do my favorite bets real quick. I just had to roll. I was planning that this whole time. I was waiting to use that. Oh man, that was so.
You knew I wasn't going to say Stroud too. You knew good and well what you were doing. You little.
Yep. I was the perfect segue. I was waiting for that all episode. My favorite bets this week: Ravens Texans over 43.5. Ravens defense it's good. But I think we could see some garbage points from the Texans in this one. Let's say the Ravens are up like 17 points at the end. It's like 28-10, and then you could see the Texans getting like a cheap touchdown at the end. I like the over a lot in that one. I also have Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst is going to be a fan favorite on this show, just letting you know. Hayden Hurst, anytime touchdown, +420. Rookie quarterbacks love their safety blankets and tight ends. Hayden Hurst is that in the pass-catching game. The first time the Panthers have had a pass-catching tight end since Greg Olsen, honestly. Hayden Hurst, first touchdown, I think it's +2,000 on some books. +420, anytime touchdown. Love that. I have some other spread picks, but I don't want to roll through them because that's kind of boring. We'll tweet them out. I'm going to make a graphic. I'll make a consistent graphic for everyone. It'll be a little 4-plex graphic. Maybe throw Brian's in there too as well. And we'll put like our 5 best bets on there for each of us. We'll tweet that out. Follow us at CarterCast, at CarterBA, at Wilkerson A. Dillon. Let's do parlays and let's switch to college football. Let's do the anytime touchdown parlay. So the way it's going to work this year is we have 3 parlays this year. We have 3. We have our college football parlay. You'll hear that at the very end. That's at the very end. We're 0-2 on it so far. It's okay. We have 13 weeks. We have 14 weeks to get it done. We just need to hit 2. And we have a phenomenal season.
A lot of time to go. A lot of time.
Yeah. We got time to burn. Week 1 NFL, though, we can get things rolling. We finished up 47 units last year on the Carter Cast, and that doesn't even include the Mormon Moneyline parlay. Like, that doesn't even include those other anytime touchdown parlays. Only includes our 4 spread/total picks. So, plus 47 units last year. If you put 1 unit on each parlay, We're going to do it again this year. So the NFL parlay, the anytime touchdown parlay, and the college football parlay. We're going to do the NFL and the anytime touchdown right now, college football at the end, like I mentioned. Dylan, you want to give out your pick real quick, and I'll read off Grant, Connors, and my picks.
Yes, NFL pick, Raiders +4. I think they win, but for the sake of the parlay, we're going to take the 4.
We're going to take the +4. I love it. I actually really like that pick. I know it's going to be an unpopular pick on the TikTok and stuff, but I really do like that pick. Grant's pick was it was Bengals -2.5. It's not the one I like. It's probably my least favorite in here. But one of these public easy 2-point favorites has to win. Whether it's Niners, whether it's the Bengals, one of those has to win. So we're going Bengals -2.5. I alluded to it before. My best bet, Houston Ravens over 43.5. I love that. And then Connors is Packers money line. So I believe Packers money line is what, +105 right now?
Mm-hmm.
I want to get the exact odds on this. Packers money line is stats department. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, we can get it at +105 at places as well. Okay, perfect. So, all right, that's the podcast parlay this week. It is Packers money line, Houston, Baltimore over 43.5, Bengals -2.5, and Raiders +4. That is +1,200, 12-1 odds. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Let's start off hot. And you know how we're going to start off even hotter? We're going to do an anytime touchdown one right here.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
Give them your pick, Grant or Dylan.
A little bias here. But DeAndre Hopkins making his Tennessee Titans debut.
A nice little fade route touchdown against the Saints, baby. That's what we're seeing.
Just throw it up and let him catch it. Just like that, Tannehill. Take notes. I know you watch. Just like that. I'm taking him in his Tennessee Titans debut. Nice baby blue. DeAndre Hopkins.
I like that. That's +200. That's +200. And I'll put the little odds next to it on the TikTok that we post. Connors, Alexander Madison against the so Vikings running back against the Bucks. That's a minus odd one. That's fine. We need some of those in there. You know, we need some guarantees, as they say in the business. Grant alluded to it before. Garrett Wilson +135. That might be better other on some books. I'm going based off FanDuel, and then my pick, Travis Etienne against the Colts. He's just gonna run what it's gonna be like a nice Trevor Lawrence is scrambling, and all of a sudden we'll check down, bang, Travis Etienne touchdown. Easy as that. So the anytime touchdown parlay this week is Alexander Madison, Travis Etienne, DeAndre Hopkins, and Garrett Wilson to close things off, +2,300. Easily worth half a unit. That's an easy sprinkle for you there. Little $5 cookout tray bet right there. Tell me that's not a cookout tray bet right there.
That's cookout tray right there. That's 2 chicken quesadillas, some chicken tenders, and a peanut butter Oreo milkshake.
Yeah, or depending on what your tray is, you could go, I mean, I'm a big double burger guy, Cajun fries, white cheddar bites on the side with a huge Mr. Pibb light ice with the corn dog on the side. Sometimes if I'm feeling a little frisky, you know, the anytime touchdown parlay hit, then you get the extra corn dog. If it doesn't hit, you don't get the extra corn dog. You know, got to save money in this economy. All right, that's it for the NFL, right?
I think that's it.
All right, let's roll into college football. No breaks, none of that. Do we want to do a little week 1 recap? Just Colorado was awesome and Duke was awesome, and then Carolina surprised me.
Yeah, Florida State looks great. I don't know if LSU is just bad or Florida State's good. That's the thing about these week 1 games. It's like we don't know. Like we only have one game to go off of. So
also, doesn't it feel like forever ago? We're recording Wednesday at like 10 Eastern. It feels like a year ago those week 1 games happened.
Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I'm a big holiday guy, but they do throw off your week. Like when you're not going to work on Monday, it makes the week feel a whole lot different.
Yeah, it's. I was in New York and LA last week. I've been all over the country. This is also time zones. Time zones are the biggest crazy stuff. Time zones are crazy, man. Going from Mountain to Eastern to Pacific back to Mountain. I'll say this: Eastern time blows.
It's the worst. Oh, it's the worst. Yeah, it's not good.
Eastern time. The time zone rankings real quick. Mountain Central, Pacific, Eastern.
Nope. See, take me West Coast all the way to East. I'm like a straight line. Give me Pacific, Mountain, Central, Eastern. We've had this conversation before. Nothing better than being in Vegas and waking up at 9 a.m.
But only in Vegas. When you're in California and you wake up, you forget sports are on. I understand. After this was my first time in LA. I was chilling in Malibu on the beach, eating a street taco. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh yeah, there's gonna be there's football on. I'm like, you don't even realize it. That's why. I mean, it is Big Ten country over there, a hard nosed grit and grind football in L.A. But it is very hard to remember football's on when you're in L.A. because there's just so much to do.
Carter, I'm not going to say this because I would never say this, but I think there are people out there that would say that maybe you're not a fan of ball. Maybe you're not a ball fan if you're forgetting about football being on. No matter what time zone you're in.
9 a.m. though. I mean, maybe,
when do you normally wake up? What's a normal day for Carter? What time do you normally get up?
On a Saturday?
Sure. Yeah.
Saturday.
No college football. Let's say it's the summer.
No college football. Yeah. No college football. No EPL. Man, it can range from anything. I've woken up at 6 a.m. and I've woken up at 1 p.m.
See, 7, 8 a.m. for me. So like sitting around and waiting and like Saturday waiting for college football to start when you wake up at 7:30 is like game day doesn't even start till 10 or 9 or whatever.
See, Mountain Time's kind of the perfect one for me because I wake up probably around 8 a.m. if we're being honest. 7:30, 8 a.m. around there usually. You get up, you get a couple errands done. Football's on at 10 a.m., 11 a.m. for NFL. Like, it is so perfect. When you're the casino, you just want it on. You never want that football off. Like, you want to wake up and you want to head straight down there. When you're on the West Coast, man, those 9 a.m. kickoffs throw you off. 9 a.m. is a different breed. I don't like seeing that single digit with football.
I will say the one drawback, if I had to pull one from Pacific, is specifically if you're in Vegas and the nights don't end in Vegas until about 4 a.m. Then you're dealing with a good part of your night where the Hawaii game starts at 9 p.m. It's over by midnight or maybe 12:30. So
and then all of a sudden you're staring $25 table minimums in the face, and you're like, I'm not doing this.
And then you see the sun start to rise over Red Rocks, and you're like, oh no, I got to do it all over again, and I haven't slept. Where's my wallet? Where's my wallet?
Where's your wallet? It's drained. Yeah, no. But anyhow, let's talk college football. What are we doing here? Let's start with the game of the week. Easily the game of the week. Texas, Alabama. It's in Tuscaloosa. Last year was a weird game to say the least in Austin. Texas arguably should have won that game. Bryce Young pulled the rabbit out of the hat there. I mean, that was unbelievable last year. Bryce Young's no longer there, and that was clear if you watch any of the Middle Tennessee State game against Alabama. Obviously, you see the score, and Alabama destroys them like 50-7 or whatever it was.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh yeah, these quarterbacks are good. If you watch the game, it was a little concerning on the quarterback end. Meanwhile, Texas, they handled Rice just fine. Boring game, like 37-10. Alabama's -7. They are a touchdown favorite against Texas at home. What's your play in this game? What's the move?
At 7, I don't really like much of anything. And like you said, both of these teams played, not great teams the week before. Rice is nothing special, and neither is Middle Tennessee. So it's really hard. If I had to, I think Texas last week underperformed. If I had to compare both Texas and Alabama's performances last week, because I think Rice still covered 35.5, and Texas benefited greatly from a couple turnovers on Rice's end that maybe could be considered fluky. Like, I think one was a lost fumble, which is always, there's a little bit of chance there. And then the other was a pass that, when a quarterback makes a good pass, but the receiver doesn't quite bring it in, and it kind of like bounces around for a little bit, and it makes like, hold on a second, it makes like this noise.
Yeah.
There were a couple of those interceptions that happened during that game. So I don't have anything at 7. If it gets to 6.5, I'll probably take Alabama. But I don't know. I think Alabama looked better last week than Texas did, going off of a very small sample against two bad teams.
It's it's almost like you have to throw it out the window though, because like it really doesn't matter watching those games unless it's like you watch BYU against Sam Houston State and they look terrible. But like neither of them look terrible. Neither of them like really swept you off your feet really. I'm going Texas +7 here. I know it's probably the public pick. It's probably, Carter Square. Woohoo, yeah, you falling into the trap. Texas +7, I just feel like this is going to be a close game. I don't see Alabama being able to blow out this Texas team. Texas, their big concern is their secondary has to step up. But the thing is, they're not. Jalen Milroe is not going to be able to throw like Bryce Young did on the secondary last year. Mm-hmm. And the front lines for Texas can get pressure there. So Jalen Milroe is going to have to run a lot, and they're going to have to force him to throw the ball. That's going to be the difference in this game, I feel like. And I don't believe in him. Obviously, the Texas secondary isn't great, but I trust that the Texas front line can get to him, get enough pressure. Quinn Ewers, I think, is also going to put on a show. We saw last year he wasn't fazed by this Alabama team. No. Yes, it's on the road, different game, different year, obviously, but they bring back all their same receivers, different running back. Bijan Robinson's not there anymore, but like we've had this conversation all offseason, you can bring back a running back. That's not crazy. Mm-hmm. Running backs are very replaceable. That's a controversial statement to some apparently, but it's true. But give me Texas +7. I think Quinn Ewers is going to handle business here. I don't hate the money line +220 as a sprinkle as well. I'm going to stay away from that. I'm going to ride the +7, and I'm going to have a fun time watching this game.
I don't think you're square for that. I think that's reasonable. This could really go both ways.
They're going to be pretty 50-50 on the bets because I feel like the line would have moved more if it wasn't.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that's crazy on your end. I'm definitely not going to make fun of you for that one.
All right, there we go. See, progress. You know, anything else on this game?
Nothing for me. If it gets a 6.5, Alabama will be played, but nothing at 7 really.
Perfect. All right, let's move on. Nebraska, Colorado. The line opened on FanDuel on some books. Some people were the tweets came out that Nebraska was -2.5 on some books. Then it just got bet to earth, whatever you want to call it, down to Colorado -3, -5. You said on Circa, it opened there. It's all over the place. It's now it's been steady at Colorado -3. Obviously, everybody watched that Colorado TCU game. That was the marquee game Saturday, besides South Carolina, North Carolina, rather. I don't know what to think about this Colorado team. Obviously, they're studs. Travis Hunter, stud. Sanders, stud. The running back, I'm blanking on his name. Edwards, stud. Your cousin, Wilkerson, stud.
Yeah. Well, it runs in the family.
It runs in the family. But there has to be a regression, right? Right?
It depends. Like, no one can tell how good this Colorado team is actually going to be. So, like, regress to what? Yeah.
But we also saw this Nebraska team. Come on. Panther Nation was having the time of their life. If you would have been on Panther subreddit on Friday or Thursday night when Nebraska choked, full-blown choke in that game. Matt Rule, just a classic choke. And then you knew these Nebraska fans need to get used to this. After a nice Matt Rule choke, the post-game pressers are always something crazy. It's just, you never know what you're going to get. It's just all of a sudden you go in there and just, at the end of the day, we got to look at the film and, Rocky, he lost to Apollo Creed and Rocky had to bounce back. He had to look at the film. He had to, do his homework. He had to, do what he needed to do to get it done. And Rocky, we're kind of like Rocky in that scenario, and we're going to come back and, beat Apollo Creed. And, it took Rocky multiple movies to win.
You're telling me you didn't like that guy as your head coach?
He didn't bring up Rocky. It was you remember, I don't know if you remember this, Dylan. His famous quote is, and I may have to cut all this out, but his famous quote was, "It took Jay-Z 7 years to build his agency. So he needs 7 years to build this football team."
I didn't know he said that.
Look it up.
That's hilarious.
That is what you're dealing with in Nebraska. He said 7 years. 7 years. How?
That's wild.
How does anybody believe this used car salesman? How? I used to say, he'll be good. You wish him well, Nebraska, whatever. Don't know him personally, whatever. I don't care. I'm rooting against Nebraska. I'm rooting so hard against Nebraska. I don't need to bet this game, Dylan. I just need to cheer. That's the beauty whenever you can go into games like this. You don't need to bet. Your feelings matter more. Ben Shapiro likes to say facts don't care about your feelings. Sometimes your feelings matter.
That's true. Look at us. We're progressive over here, validating feelings and everything. That is awesome. Going to the Nebraska-Colorado game, I don't know. So if you follow me on Twitter, something I've been doing this year, I've been trying to tweet out bets that I make during the week and with the hope of catching a middle somewhere, just getting a better number. So I took Colorado money line when it was even, and then Nebraska +3 this very shortly after that.
Wouldn't you just take Nebraska money line then at that point?
I could, but I'm greedy. Carter. I want to try to get the 1, 2, 3. But I do think if you're looking for value here, there are several sports books, several offshores that have said that the Colorado side is getting more money than almost every single NFL game this week. And that is, if you want something invested in this game, I think it almost has to be Nebraska, because
whenever we see that many bets, sometimes people, I do this too. I'm very guilty of this, where I say, "Oh, you got to bet against the public. Everybody's going to be on this side, so just bet this side without any, data points to prove it, whatever." Yeah. Do you remember in the NCAA tournament, Duke versus Tennessee, 98% of the bets were all on Tennessee and on Duke, and 99% of the money was on Duke. Duke was only -2 against Tennessee, and the sports books didn't change their number. They said, we're confident in this number. It doesn't matter. If you're a Duke fan like I am, that was terrifying. You just knew what was going to happen. You knew they were not going to let 99% of the world, it's probably 99.99% of the world win their Duke money line bets. They weren't. That was never going to happen. Yep. And it feels similar in this game. You can't explain it. Duke was obviously the better team against Tennessee. They were the more talented. Everything pointed to Duke winning. Everything points to Colorado winning. We saw the one game. We saw how awesome they look. This game, it's going to have to go into the trenches. It's going to have to go the D-line, the O-line. And that's how Nebraska wins this game.
I agree. I mean, there really is no more value left to be had at Colorado. They're just juicing it for all it's worth. Now, I will say, if you're looking for a reason to bet Colorado, you're looking at a 1-game sample size to where not even the sharpest of bookmakers can project how good Colorado is going to be. So because it's so early in the season, we could say that the books are getting all this money coming in on Colorado. Oh, well, they're not moving their line past 3 because they don't think they're going to be that good. No one can know for sure how good this team actually is. There is no regressing or progressing to the mean, because we just don't know what the mean is. This is just a surprise to everybody, even the sharpest of people. So it really is a toss up. I can't come out and take a specific side. But I would think Nebraska. I would think that there's probably more value on Nebraska.
It feels like it has to be, even though that's a gross one to take. I might take Nebraska +3, and just it's a win-win situation. I'm like, okay, you know what? I got to see Matt Rhule, choke, whatever. Or if Colorado win, or if Nebraska hits, bang, the wall looks great. Let's move on. Let's talk about the last game. I'll give you the choice. We can either talk Oregon, Texas Tech, or NC State, Notre Dame.
I have more opinions about Oregon, Texas Tech, but you probably know more about Notre Dame.
I know. I wanted to talk Oregon, Texas Tech, because this game is fascinating. Oregon, Texas Tech. The line right now is Oregon -6.5 in Lubbock, over under 68.5. We saw the Wyoming game. We saw the double overtime. Shout out you. You had Wyoming money line and the +14. Save the day. I mean, shout out. Go Pokes, baby. Shout out Wyoming.
And I have them to win the division and over their win total. So let's hope this wasn't a fluke, even though I think it probably was.
It probably was, but oh well. But Texas Tech, the all-time bounce back spot, and everyone saw the Oregon line. Oregon won 81-7 against Portland State. They ran it up on them, and then you're thinking, oh my gosh, Oregon's gonna put up 50+ against this Texas Tech team. Oregon's gonna dominate them. This is the perfect bounce back spot. The Texas Tech quarterback played at Oregon. the biggest revenge game ever now. It's revenge time, baby. I'm taking Texas Tech with the points. I'm going to buy it to +7, though. I want that very clear. I'm going to take the juice at -120 and take it to +7. Even if it moves, whatever, I just want to be safe. I want to get that +7 right there.
I don't. If you want 7, you're probably going to have to buy it. I don't think it gets back to there because it opened. I have it in my notes actually from Sunday. It opened at +4. It opened at Texas Tech +4, got bet or moved to 7, and it was at 7 for a very short time before it went to 6.5. So someone out there is concerned about it being at 7. I guess it might go back if the public comes in and bets Oregon pretty heavy. But things to note from this game, you're exactly right. Oregon played Portland State and blew them out of the water. A lot of people are going to see that and think, wow, if they can do that against them, why can't they do it against Texas Tech? And Texas Tech is coming off of that loss to Wyoming in like double overtime or however they do it in college football. But, I mean, they outgained Wyoming by almost 100 yards. Their kicker missed 3 field goals. I'm glad Wyoming won because I had them. I bet them to win, but it shouldn't have happened that way by any means. And I like Texas Tech here too. I like them a lot. I think that people are going to overreact to that Oregon-Portland State game and say, oh, well, if they beat them by 50 plus or 70 plus or whatever, then they can do it to Texas Tech, who just lost Wyoming was like 4-1. But if you look at the box score, Texas Tech, I mean, they really dominated that game. They just missed some kicks, and I think maybe they lost the turnover battle, if I remember correctly. So
they had to have.
Yeah. Texas Tech here, I really like at 7.
I like Texas Tech a lot here. That's one of my favorite plays this week. All right, let's wrap up here real quick. Do you have a couple best bets, and then we'll do the parlay and get out of here?
Yeah, we'll go. My iPad died, so I'm going off the top of my head. I think UTSA -11.5. I think it's 13.5 now. I would still take it.
13.5 now. And I said they're banned from the parlay, but I didn't say they weren't banned from me taking them straight up.
I like it up to 14. So I don't think it'll get there. What's another one I have? I have
Rice.
A couple middles. Rice, that's my favorite one. And a short explanation for that. They play Houston. Houston played UTSA. Houston beat UTSA, I think 17-14, but UTSA had like 65 penalty yards, 3 or 4 turnovers. Houston benefited greatly from the turnover battle, and I actually think UTSA outgained Houston by about 80 yards. So Houston won, but it was a little fluky. It was a little bit, they got a little luck going their way, and they play Rice, who Rice actually lost a turnover battle to Texas, and they still kept it pretty close. I think Rice is going to be better than what people expect. Most books, I think, have it at 10 now. So Rice with 10, I like that a lot too.
Okay, I like that. I'll do a couple real quick. I like App State plus 18.5 against Carolina. That's too many points. I think Carolina is going to have a come to Jesus moment, come back down to earth. I know I bet against them last week with South Carolina. I don't think this defense is actually as good as they showed. I just think that South Carolina offensive line was really, really bad. Spencer Rattler had no time to throw in that game. App State can put up points. I think they can put up enough points to stay within that number. I'm not saying they're going to win the game by any means. I also like the over in that game if you like that too. I'll read through a couple others real quick. Obviously, Texas Tech plus 7. I love that. Texas A&M Miami. This is a live bet game. This is a live bet. Get a feel for the game. And if I see Texas A&M go down early, I'm going to hit Texas A&M on the live. I don't want them at -4.5. I want them even odds on the money line after a touchdown. Ole Miss Tulane, weird line, 7.5. That's a kind of a stay away. That might be also another like live bet one too. Maybe I like watch the game and I see what I like and I kind of get a good feel for it. And I'm going to stay away from that one. Trump is at the Iowa State game, so that means under, right?
I think it has to be.
Is Trump might be an overs guy though.
Can I work out a theory here?
Go for it.
I think that this is actually part of his jail sentence, is they made him go to the Iowa State football game.
It very well could be
possible.
The total's 36.5.
Yeah, that's cruel and unusual punishment. That's protected in the Constitution under like the third amendment. I don't even know what amendment. I'm going to
The
get
Bill of
clowned
Rights.
for. Yeah, somewhere in there, somewhere in the top 10, I think. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
One of the it's in the legislature that you don't have to attend. If you attend Iowa State, that counts as prison time. So, that was so dumb. Notre Dame, NC State. This game's in Raleigh. Home opener for the NC State Wolfpack. NC State plus 7.5 here. I don't like it. This is a gross pick. This is really gross. I'm rolling with the plus 7s here. I'm going to ride or die with them this week, except Tulane. I'm going to stay away from Tulane. NC State, I don't like Brennan Armstrong. I did not like what I saw in that UConn game, and everybody is deeply, deeply in love with Sam Hartman as much as I am. I already took Sam Hartman to win the Heisman before the year. I am on the Notre Dame over wins, but I think NC State keeps it within that number. One thing I don't like, though, it's a noon game in Raleigh. That needs to be a night game. That should have been a night game in Raleigh. Mm-hmm. So that's my only drawback. This is a 1-unit play, NC State plus 7.5. I'm rolling with the Wolfpack. And I have some other ones. I'll tweet them out. We need to get out of here. We're running out of time. Let's do the college football parlay. What's your pick?
College football parlay's got to be Rice plus 10. I'm taking them money line too. I'm very confident in this. 5-star play is Rice plus 10. So,
yeah, that's first a must ride.
First one of the college football season, and the cruel and unusual punishment, 8th Amendment. So yes, it was in the Bill of Rights.
Let's go. I knew it. Tell me I don't know U.S. history. All right. College football parlay. Texas Tech plus 7. Buy the half point. If you get it at 7, great. If not, buy the half point in the parlay. Texas Tech plus 7 for myself. We have Rice plus 10. Also, I'm going to ride with each of these picks. Take them separately because I believe in these picks. And I'm tired of going 3 and 4 and losing money. We should be winning money going 3 out of 4. Going 3 and 1? Are you kidding me? All right. Texas Tech plus 7. Rice plus 10. Connors. Colorado, Nebraska under 59.5. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Yeah, I don't hate it. We'll see. And then we have a Friday night game. Grant, the classic first half Grant. You know, Grant like he had to leave at the first half of this podcast. It's classic fashion. So it makes all the sense in the world. Maybe we should change the NFL parlay to Bengals first half. Maybe I just submit it Bengals first half money line instead, just in solidarity with Grant. He has Kansas first half minus 1.5 against Illinois on Friday night. Love that play. I don't care how public Kansas is. I'm going to be all over the Kansas Jayhawks. That is one of my favorite plays this week. The college football podcast parlay this week. It is Texas Tech plus 7, Rice plus 10, Colorado, Nebraska under 59.5 in the Kansas Jayhawks on Friday night against the Fighting Illini. First half minus 1.5. That's plus 1,200. 12-1.
I like it. I think that's the one.
We're going to be positive. We're going to win all 3 this week. We're going to go up a glorious 37 units right off the bat.
Yep, and it's a free roll.
47 units. Easy.
The rest of the season's free.
All right, that'll do it from us. Anything else?
No, best of luck, everybody.
Week 1, NFL's here. Week 2, college football's here. We're here. This is the thick of it. Once you get that Thursday night game, you're going to get that first line of crack cocaine, and you're like, I need all of this. I need way more of this. And then you finally get the full bag come Sunday, 1 o'clock, when you get to see Scott Hansen's beautiful face, and when you get to watch 7 hours of commercial-free football. I can't wait. All right, Octobox, spreads, betting all the gains, first touchdowns. It's all bet responsibly as always. Let's put that out there. Put that out there because we had a lot of talk. All right, that's it. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the show. Hey, we're over 500 subs now. We're over 500 subs on the YouTube.
No way.
There we go. Yeah. So thank you for listening. Thank you. Make sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Twitter, the main one. Follow us on Twitter because that's where we're going to tweet out pod schedules. We're going to tweet out if you're subscribed, then you're going to know. YouTube gets the podcast first, by the way. YouTube and CarterCast.com get the podcast first. So then it goes on Spotify and Apple. I know that's backwards, but we need to reward the video watchers, all right? We need to reward the people that are there watching us and seeing our average faces. I'll put it that way. I think that's fair. average. Dude, a par golfer is great.
Oh, I would take par all day. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyhow, subscribe. Follow us at Wilkerson A. Dillon, at Carter BA, at Connor_Sparrow, at Grant Farley. You'll see his Twitter. His Twitter changes all the time. Just Grant Farley. Type it in. It'll be there. He's got the blue check mark. And then at Carter Cass on everything. Follow us all season long. We're going to be back next week. It's going to be the same time. Thursday mornings, you're going to hear our beautiful voices every Thursday morning. Be excited. We're going to win a bunch of parlays this year. We're going to win a bunch of bets. We're also going to lose some. That's how gambling works. We're going to have a ton of fun this season. And guess what? We went this entire show without talking about the Carolina Panthers. So a little round of applause for me. I don't like them this week against the Falcons. That's why we didn't talk about them. But when the Carolina Panthers win the NFC South, when the Titans win the AFC South, the Jets win the AFC East, the Niners win the NFC West, we're going to have a glorious year. We're going to have a glorious year. We're going to grow this podcast like crazy. I can't wait. Dylan, thank you for staying up with me as always.
Of course.
We'll be back. We're going to try to have the whole gang here next week. At least 4 of us, maybe even 5 if we can get Brian. So stay tuned. Come back next week. We'll be back. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.